real simple. Good talent, the talent you want to hire, they have a choice. They have a choice of where they want to work. And that's no less true for the pharmaceutical and biotech industries. Remember, the kind of people they're trying to hire, biologists and chemists and biochemists and pharmacologists and all sorts of things, these are people who have invested in themselves. They spent all that time in the lab and in class so that they could make this exact kind of choice. Where do they want to work? Where do they want to apply their skills and experience? Where do they want to make the greatest impact? Well, here's the problem. If you look at pharmaceutical and biotech career websites, you would be hard-pressed to tell the difference between any of them. Here, I'll give you a couple of very specific examples from some large pharmaceutical companies. It's more than a job, it's a chance to make a real difference. I think the Army says that too. When saving and improving lives is what you do for a living. Again, true for every single pharmaceutical company, as well as every single hospital, every single clinic. Join our team and make an impact on patients' lives. Again, every single pharmaceutical company, every single hospital, every single clinic can make that claim just as credibly as this pharmaceutical company. Now, those are some big companies. And maybe you say, well, as a large pharmaceutical company, as a large global pharmaceutical company, they can't really say much specific. Well, let's go take it a step down to mid-sized companies, companies with between 1,000 and 10,000 employees. Choose a career to help transform the lives of people. Is there a startup in the world that can't say that? This isn't your average biopharmaceutical company? I don't know what that means, right? My very cursory knowledge of math says, okay, you're not the average. Does that mean you're the best? Or the other thing? Here's my favorite. Join us and solve on. I literally don't know what that means. Here are some of the headlines from some of the smaller biotech companies, meaning less than 1,000 employees. Help us discover medicines that preserve human life. Again, as opposed to what? Yikes. Start making a difference. What has that person been doing so far, I wonder, that they haven't been making a difference? I'm James Ellis. I'm the principal of Employer Brand Labs, and all I do is think about employer branding. And I have a message for pharmaceutical and biotech companies that I think they need to hear. They're not doing a great job helping the candidate make an informed choice, because that's what it's all about. Helping the candidate say, I want to choose this company and not choose that company, with a sense that they know why. In an effort to get candidates to make a choice, to choose one company over the other, it's on the recruiter's shoulders and the hiring manager's shoulders to make that case compelling. Now, this opinion did not happen accidentally. I did an audit of 30 total companies to try and give a good spectrum of what these companies are up to. And I put all that findings into a deck that I'd happily like to show. There'll be a link in the description below. Now, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to be a little funny because this is a serious subject and sometimes a little levity is called for. I'm not trying to insult these companies. They do great work. Hands down, no question, don't even ask. Absolutely great work. Regardless of the company's size, regardless of their footprint, my question is, what can these companies be doing better to attract the talent they want to hire? And the answer is pretty clear. Differentiate. Help the candidate make an informed choice. Now, the only way to differentiate from a talent attraction standpoint, anyway, is to be either a most or an only. The most meaning, when you say that you're innovative, when you say you're driving positive patient outcomes, are you the most innovative? Are you driving the most positive patient outcomes? Now, obviously, from a regulatory standpoint, you can't say that, which is why it's so infuriating that companies continue to talk about this. They cannot be the most at that. While other companies were talking about positive patient outcomes and the impact they could drive, one company of the larger size companies that I looked at, they had a very different headline, a very different approach, a very different motivation they were trying to trigger in the candidates they were looking at. That headline was, this is the place to work. Now, that's a status call. They're suggesting that they're the most preeminent, that they're the most powerful, that they're most important, that they're doing the biggest work, without saying we make the most impact, which obviously they can't say. They're trying to trigger people's desire for status. Now, status is just one motivator that pharmaceutical companies can be triggering, but are focused too much on making an impact or patient outcomes or innovation. Why aren't they talking about how much they support their people? Not 3 pages into the website, but as the headline, as the thing that makes that company that company. What makes your company special to candidates? When everybody's talking about positive patient outcomes, when everybody's talking about innovation, what else can be talked about? Bring that message up to the top. Be the company that cares the most about how people who work there feel. Be the company that cares the most about work experience and culture. Be the company that cares the most about developing their skill set. Be the company that cares the most about giving the most autonomy and the most opportunity to do great work. There's plenty of room in the pharmaceutical and biotech space for companies, for in fact, every company, to find a place to differentiate. But they haven't. This doesn't take much. Remember that one company just simply said, we're the place to work. That message framed everything else I saw on that career site. I looked through that message to look at everything else being talked about. Even if all they ever talked about was patient outcomes and impact and innovation, that frame positioned them differently. And that's all it takes. So, pharmaceutical, biotech companies of any stripe, any size, it's time to get serious about differentiating your message to talent, and it starts on your career site. I hope you take this opportunity to differentiate your company's employer brand. It's going to help a lot more than just your recruiters and your candidates. It's going to help your entire company.